Yeah. Yeah. Shit. Grams leaders CC's pounds. Close cash, close call, close encounter, close up. Pounds of liters of grams, get your dosed up. Cut this up, post up, and get dosed up. This for them voted like the move and make the most of. Monday night at 8, I can't wait to set you straight. These opinions and debates, for them folk they can't relate. I got to elevate your mind through these signs of the time. Dishing out that medication for that deaf, dumb and blind. And I ain't hard to find, you can catch me in those trenches. I do the groundwork and I ain't waiting on no sense. I be touching on them topics politicians fail to mention. And I don't vote for nobody that ain't got good intentions. I'm relentless for my people and I'm here to make a change. I got that truth serum hooked directly to your veins. Hey, this is for my people, tune in, catch a close-up. Close-up, close-up, a close-up. Grams of it, tune in, liters of it, close-up. Pounds of it, pounds of it. Yeah, grams of it, liters up. Pounds, get your dosed up. Dosed up, dosed up. Get dosed up.
Yes, 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 that's what I like to hear. Pow, 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 pow. When I hear that, I know Shooter in the building, you know that, aka Dose, and then you know that's Lab. You got both of us on this lovely Monday.
That's right.
You know, we about to spark a little bit things up today on a picture pages type of ordeal. I told my man Lab I got something special for you a little bit later. But as far as how my weekend went, I'm starting this one out. I ain't even give Lab a chance to ask me how my weekend went. You know, it was a sad weekend because I know everybody around the A know we lost a legend.
That's right.
So, you know, I'd like to send condolences out to the Wade family, Mr. Rico Wade, Dungeon family as well. Without Rico Wade, you wouldn't have Outkast, TLC, Killer Mike, shit, even Future. You know, so, you know, them roots, they run deep in the A. I'll do a little bit of tribute a little bit later on, you know, and mention some of the credits that he had for production so you can understand his impact as far as music. Probably wouldn't even be a shooter rapping, you know what I'm saying, if it wasn't for Mr. Rico Wade. So, you know, I just like to start this show off like that. Then we'll, you know, get into what the topic is about, which is about pretty much natural occurring phenomenons. And actually, death is a natural occurring phenomenon as far as the biological phenomenons, which I'll get into what a phenomenon is, and then I'll go into what the biological phenomenons are. But a phenomenon is an event that occurs that has no clear explanation why, and it occurs in nature without human involvement. So some biological phenomenons will be our metabolism, catabolism, anabolism, decomposition, fermentation, growth, birth, death, and this is something I found kind of like interesting, but it actually has population decrease, which I can see could be naturally occurring, meaning if a natural event, like let's say an extinction level event happened, you know, that can be something biological, but just to put population decrease on there is just kind of, you know, stood out on my conscience a little bit.
That's something we all talk about that certain governments want to do. Decrease
exactly, but they not natural. See what I'm saying? They're gonna do it on, you know, through weaponry, drugs, or something similar to that. You know, it's not gonna be through a catastrophic natural occurring event.
Right.
I didn't get really towards the, let's say, astronomical phenomenons, because those are events that, one, they happen so far and apart, and two, it's difficult to kind of gauge them from Earth. So a lot of the ones I have pictures so that we can see. But the astronomical phenomenons would be like the supernovas, gamma rays, what is this, quasars, blazars, pulsars. And this actually has cosmic microwave background radiation. So cosmic microwaves, right? But microwave. See, when you start getting into astronomical phenomena, I'm thinking you get into like a lot of quantum physics and things like that.
Okay.
Which you can definitely use on Earth though.
Right.
You know.
I get what you're saying.
So that's where I was going with the microwave, because we actually have a microwave.
Right. And they do tell you stay away from it. It can cause issues.
I'm trying to tell radiation.
Radiation.
So, but with the natural, we'll call this like geographical phenomenons. I have a lot of those.
Okay.
Believe it or not, a lot of them happen over in the U.S., but I got them worldwide, pretty much. So, we're gonna kick this thing off. I guess we'll say let's get hot with it, caliente, with a fire whirl.
Okay.
And a fire whirl, or they say fire devil, is pretty much a whirlwind induced by a fire, and it's often composed of flame or ash.
Okay.
Say these start with the whirl of wind, often made visible by smoke, and may occur when intense rising heat and turbulent wind conditions combine to form whirring. What is this? It says eddies of air, and the eddies can contract a tornado-like vortex that sucks debris and combustible gases.
How often do those happen, do they say?
Okay, well, it said the phenomenon was first verified in the 2003 Canberra bushfires, and has since been verified in 2018 and it says CARR fire.
Okay.
And in California 2020, the Loyalton fire.
Okay.
And I'm gonna show you guys. This is what it looks like. I'm kind of out of the way a little bit, and then I'm gonna show this camera what it looks like. All right. We're gonna bounce back and forth, so everything ain't just gonna be fire. You know what I'm saying? We have what we call cloud iridescence. So anytime you start talking about like iridescence, you're getting into colors.
Okay.
So this one is, it says a colorful optical phenomenon that occurs in a cloud and appears in the general proximity of the sun or moon. The colors resemble those seen in soap bubbles. Okay. And oil, like oil and water surface. So that's what a cloud, I see. And I have a picture of it, so they'll see.
Doesn't that create a rainbow kind of effect?
It kind of does, but see, these are in clouds rather than like an arc that's formed from precipitation and things like that.
I guess I'm thinking about like when, let's say you in the driveway and you washing your car, and you might got some oil on the ground from a previous oil change or leak, and it mixes with the soap, and it creates a rainbow.
And that's what they compared it to, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
It says the iridescent clouds are a diffraction phenomenon caused by small water droplets or small ice crystals individually scattering light. Okay, and then it says the large ice crystals do not produce iridescence, but can cause halos and different phenomena.
Okay.
So I have halos in my stack, you guys, so I'm going to get to that. But I'll show you what it looks like. It's right here. Right there. And right there.
There we go.
Right. So we got that. Now let's move on, we'll say, to Earth shadow. And by the way, I'm a nature freak, so all of this is kind of interesting to me. Some of them I've heard before, some of them I had absolutely no idea that it either occurred or is happening. When you dig deeper into some of it, you can understand how some of it may actually affect us, or you can see how, actually certain Greek mythology comes from some of these things, or we actually use it, like the word halo. Okay, a halo, when I get to it, is something that actually occurs in nature, but people use halos as religious, and they say, a halo might like resemble a saint or an angel. So okay, but the Earth shadow. Earth shadow is the shadow that Earth itself casts through its atmosphere and enter outer space towards the anti-solar point. I had no idea Earth cast its own shadow. Wow. During the twilight period, the shadow's visible figure, sometimes called the dark segment or twilight wedge, appears as a dark and diffused band just above the horizon, most distinct when the sky is clear.
Okay.
Oh wow. Okay. So it says Earth's shadow cast onto the atmosphere can be viewed during the civil stage of twilight, assuming the sky is clear and the horizon is relatively unobstructed.
Okay.
The shadow fringe appears like as a dark bluish and purplish band, so that you know what you're looking at, that stretches over 180 degrees of the horizon opposite the sun.
Okay.
Okay, so this is what an Earth shadow looks like.
I bet you a lot of people don't even know Earth has a shadow.
I just said I didn't.
All right.
That, you know what I'm saying? That, hey man, like I said, when I say deep diving into these things, man,
Right.
I was just amazed. And it got to the point where, let's just say if it said 25 lists of natural phenomenons, I wanted to look at all 25 of them.
Right,
You know what I'm
right,
saying? And then
right.
it would be doing people an injustice to either describe it and not have somewhat of an image, or to just say what the name is and not give you the description of what it is.
Right.
All right,
I
so
think
we
that,
have.
when you think of Earth's shadow, you just think about how dark the space is,
Not only that, but like,
the cosmos is, and you wouldn't think there would be a reflection off of that.
but see, these are things that you don't think of. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? I couldn't think of whether Earth had a shadow. These things start existing, and either in science, or biology, you come across and learn it. Like I said, if I never looked up naturally occurring phenomena, to this day, I would not know that Earth had a shadow.
Okay.
So here we have, what is this? Zenithal arc. So a circumzenithal arc, also called a circumzenith.
Okay.
All right, now, okay. It's an upside down rainbow. Wow, man. You know what I'm saying? Okay, and I have a picture of that, by the way.
Okay.
And anybody can kind of figure that one out.
Right.
Upside down rainbow, we've all seen rainbows. Okay, this belongs to the halos. And it's an arising from refraction of sunlight through ice crystals, generally in, it says, cirrus or cirrostratus clouds, rather than from raindrops.
Okay.
So raindrops form a particular type of rainbow, and refraction of sunlight in crystals can form bows
Okay.
or rainbows.
Okay.
All right, so it says the arc is located at the considerable distance above the observed sun, and at most forms a quarter of a circle centered on the zenith. It has been called a smile in the sky. Its first impression being that of an upside down rainbow. Yeah, like I said, the intensity distribution along the circumzenith arc requires consideration of several effects. Okay, Fresnel's reflection and transmission amplitudes, atmospheric attenuation, chromatic dispersion. A lot of stuff goes on with this. I mean, it's even got some geometrical constraints in it. All right, so to show you guys what it looks like.
Does it get bigger than that, or does it just a certain size
Well,
in
okay.
the sky that you would see it?
No, it might just be a certain size because it's like approximately 46 degrees.
Okay.
And they're looking at, like I say, essentially it can, what is the essential a 90-degree prism accounts for a wide color separation. The scissor, they call it for short, can only form when the sun is at an altitude of 32 degrees. And it gives like a 22-degree radius and a 1.5 width.
Okay.
So
Not
I
very
guess they don't
big.
get that big.
Okay.
Yeah, but hey, I mean, we can see it. It's big enough to be seen from Earth. I can
Right.
tell you that.
Right.
And if they were able to get a picture of it,
Definitely big enough to be seen from a camera.
exactly. So now we're going to go to the belt of Venus. The belt of Venus kind of looks like the Earth shadow a little bit to me. It has wow, they call it Venus's girdle. The anti-twilight
Right.
arc also. It's an atmospheric phenomenon visible shortly before sunrise or after sunset during civil twilight. I need to look up civil twilight for me.
Okay.
I mean, what is that? This 12 o'clock or something? Civil twilight? I mean, what's civil about?
Think about civil twilight.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Twilight for most civilization or something?
Civil, you think of, civilized, just being
Yeah.
regular. Like, You know what I'm saying? So it may be that case of like
So
something like that.
we uncivilized at 1 a.m.
Right.
Oh shit.
That's an
Oh
uncivilized
shit, that's when the
time to be-
beasts come out.
Right. That's an
You know what I'm
uncivilized
saying? We turned into
time.
gremlins and shit.
Right. So you're right. You're right. Yeah.
Okay, so the cool thing about this is I see nature has similarities. It doesn't necessarily duplicate itself, but they will say, because I'm going to get to this too, it says it's not unlike an alpenglow. And I have an alpenglow. So I'll describe that a little bit later. But okay, so it said, like I say, near the horizon during twilight. It's a backscatter though, or of reddened sunlight. Also creates the belt. It shines high in the atmosphere and lasts for a while after the sunset. It also, let's see, observed with having a vivid pink color during the winter months.
That's why it's after the sunset, because silver twilight begins in the morning or ends in the evening. When the geometric center of the sun is 6 degrees below the horizon. So that's when silver twilight is. So it's kind of like right before the sun drops, right? Or right before it rises. So that's silver twilight.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to show a picture of what it looks like. What's dope is it's multicolors on the horizon, which actually accentuates the horizon.
See that? That's it. We see that all the time. People actually see a silver twilight all the time.
And we don't even understand. We could be looking at the belt of Venus and things like that.
We just call it sunrise or sunset. Yeah.
Okay. So speaking of like sunlights and horizons, I'll get on what an afterglow is then. Okay, so it says in meteorology consists of several atmospheric optical phenomena with general definition as a broad arc of whitish or pink sunlight, once again in the twilight sky, consisting of bright segment and the purple light. The purple light mainly occurs when the sun is 2 to 6 degrees below the horizon, from civil, to nautical twilight. So one thing I do like about this nature is they try to keep it systematic. Because you like, okay, I'm quite sure you'll start hearing civil and nautical twilights and things like that. I guess definitely if you were going to try to travel by boat, by ship, or some things like that. So afterglow is often in cases of volcanic eruptions discussed, while the purple light is discussed as a different particular volcanic purple light.
The nautical twilight is the same as the civil twilight. It's just that the sun is 12 degrees below the horizon instead of 6, so it's 6 more degrees below the horizon.
And they say an afterglow is the opposite of a foreglow, which is before the sunshine.
Right.
So basically, you get kind of like optical phenomena and illusions from what I'm seeing before sunlight and after sunlight.
After sunlight.
That's awesome. I'm going to start looking at some of this a little bit more and trying to pay attention.
Right.
All right, so I threw something in that we all know about. That's kind of I'm not even going to say this is boring, because shit, I ain't never had to come across it, and I hope I don't.
Right.
Quicksand.
Okay.
All right, so it's considered a colloid consisting of fine granular materials such as sand, silt, or clay, and water. It forms in saturated loose sand when the sand is suddenly agitated, and it says when the water in the sand cannot escape, it creates liquefied soil that loses strength and cannot support weight. Quicksand can form in standing water or in upward flowing water. In the case of upward flowing water, the force opposes the force of gravity in the suspended soil particles. One thing I can say, I saw this. If you're trying to survive in quicksand, they say do not put your hands straight up. Do not try to swim out of it. Ironically, this sounds crazy to me, but they said the best thing to do is to try to lean backwards to get your limbs free.
Oh, really?
I mean, okay, how else would you get your limbs free?
Most people try to dig themselves out of it.
But while you're leaning backwards, you're trying to grab on something now, but you got to do like this to get them up out of the quicksand. Because think about it. Now, if you're standing still, you obviously ain't going to get them out of the quicksand, right?
Right.
Okay, so if you move like this, you're not going to get them out.
But doesn't the movement cause more...
Exactly.
More downward downward momentum?
That's why they say
don't move.
Well, you're going to have to move to get out.
Okay.
But they were like this. If you lean towards this, if you're leaning, part of you gonna come out because you're leaning anyway.
Right.
That part needs to be trying to grab on something so you can stay out and pull yourself out. But if you're in it and you're not leaning and you're moving forward, obviously you're not moving backwards.
If you don't have nothing to grab onto, then you
kind of shit up. Yeah, fucked up. But I would still try the leaning tactic if somebody's around me and trying to hand me something, and then pull myself. I mean, you got a better shot.
Got a better shot of surviving.
Yeah. Okay. I think we know what quicksand look like, but I got a little image of it.
Is it made of sand, though, or is it just made of any kind of...
mainly made of sand. Compound? That's why they say it's sand. Particles. Yeah, it just says loose. Because mud is mud.
Right.
And I never thought of mud as necessarily getting like quicksand. You get stuck in mud. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I guess what I'm thinking is, could it also have as much force as even though you get stuck, because you think about how stuck you can get in some mud. You can get so stuck it pull your shoes off.
Clearly, but it's not as watery. See, the thing is the consistency of it. Like I said, the colloid from first. I kind of know the differences too. Like actually in medication, some of it be like sedimenty, some of it be frothy, some of it be thick, some of it be clear, some of it will sit at the bottom. Viscous be like kind of slow, like Robitussin type stuff. So mud, does mud even flow?
Mud can't flow if you add water to it. So if you add water to water to mud, it will flow. It will. The more water you add, the loosely it'll flow. If you really think about it, the more water you add to mud, the looser it flows.
Okay.
The more mud, the more
breaking it up
and stuff you add to it, the thicker it gets. So I don't think it would be quicksand, because you think about quicksand, you add more quicksand to it, it's just going to be more quicksanding. It won't thicken up.
And it's kind of like the water. It's basically picture.
What if you add dirt to the quicksand? Will that make it thicker to where it won't suck you down? That's a good.
But see, that's the thing. Possibly, but you got nature that's affecting things too. So, I mean,
nature might separate the dirt and just throw it to the side. You still got quicksand.
Okay, so now that you're saying that, I'm just gonna get to the properties real quick. Then, so quicksand is a shear thinning, non-Newtonian fluid. See, they get into all these words, and it said when undisturbed, it often appears to be solid, but less than 1% change in the stress on the quicksand will cause a sudden decrease in its viscosity, viscosity. It says after an initial disturbance, such as a person attempting to walk on it, the water and the sand in the quicksand separate in the dense regions of sand sediment form. It is because of the formation of these high volume fraction regions that the viscosity of the quicksand seems to decrease suddenly. Someone stepping on it will start to sink. To move within the quicksand, a person or object must apply sufficient pressure on the compacted sand to reintroduce enough water to liquefy it. See, that's a lot going on right there. The forces required to do this are quite large. To remove a foot from quicksand at a speed of 1 centimeter will require the same amount of force that is needed to lift a car.
Wow.
God damn. It is impossible for a human to sink entirely into quicksand due to the higher density of the fluid. Quicksand has a density of about 2 grams per cubic centimeter. But here's the thing. What if your head go up under it? You ain't gonna breathe in that.
Nah, that's true. That's you gonna suffocate.
Okay.
That's just like mud flow, mud slides. If mud covers you off of a mud slide, you think about that. As Nick says, you'll suffocate in that too.
Yeah. So, all right, now I'm gonna get to some of a natural phenomenon that when I show y'all this, you're gonna be like, no way. All right, so clonal trees, right? It's supposed to be the world's oldest living organisms. They survive drought, wildfires, live past the extinction of woolly mammoths, saber-toothed cats, and the rise and fall of several human civilizations. Now, the interesting thing about these trees, it looks like it's about maybe 100 of them. But according to the clonal tree theory, it's supposed to have like one root network system.
Okay.
So it's almost like clones, I guess, of a tree, but one source as far as the root.
Okay.
So I'm going to show you a picture of what that looks like. You can see these.
Okay.
So we'll say, let me look at this. It spreads over 108 acres. Wow. This is interesting. They nickname it the Pondo, or Latin for I spread. It's connected by a neural network in the root system. So if it's almost like a brain.
So you think about so if you cut one root, will you kill the whole system?
Exactly. And it genetically basically produce identical trees.
Okay.
Which is why they all look the same around each other.
Trees.
Yeah, but look, but I'm gonna tell you. Let me just tell you what was so dope about it. Right in front of my face, I ain't even paid attention to it. How many times do you see trees that look exactly like that color all around each other?
That's true.
So
you
you might see pine trees, but they separate and they not that close to each other, and they
Right.
don't all look the same.
But when you see trees like that, you might just think it's just fall. They just all change at the same time. You don't think
Clearly.
about that whole scientific aspect of it. Who does? Like these trees are twins.
Exactly. But if you looking at, now that I'm looking at it, you look at the trunks.
No, okay.
And you look at, it's all okay, crepe myrtles, right?
Uh-huh.
They all kind of look the same.
Right.
All right, so imagine that many crepe myrtles right beside each other, but with one neural system to it.
Okay.
One system up underground that goes to all of them crepe myrtles. And crepe myrtles, shit, boy, them things grow huge.
Right.
And you can chop them down, they keep growing back, but they don't clone themselves.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right, so now I'm going to jump off of some trees right quick, and I will get to one of the natural occurring phenomena that's astrological
Okay.
that we all know about, and that is a comet.
Oh, okay.
A comet is an icy small solar system body that warms and begins to release gases when passing close to the sun, a process called outgassing. This produces an extended gravitationally unbound atmosphere, or coma. We know what a coma, but coma they use for medical purposes,
Right,
so they
right.
say. Interesting what you hear when you hear nature, but a
And
coma.
the fact that a comet is a ice,
Mm-hmm.
most people think it's a rock.
I mean, when you start reading up on it,
They
then you
think
understand.
it's part of but they say that they say that asteroids are ice particles too, like from the atmosphere, from the solar system, or from outer space, if you want to call it. So to find out that that's an ice particle is that why? Okay, I'm gonna let you finish.
Oh no, I'm learning why I'm listening
Yeah,
to you.
Yeah, is that why it has a tail, because of the fire that is as it's melting, as it enters whatever atmosphere that it's going into?
I think you could be right. Well, see, first of all right, anything that's ice and what we're starting to see are gases because of the sun. And once again, what's awesome is, I didn't mention this, but these are natural forming or natural cause phenomenons would be considered fire, gas, oxidation, and things like that. I went to the biological, but those are part of it as well. So what you will have are multiple phenomena happening in a comet. The gas, the ice. Okay, then it's going past the sun. All right, so we get where I left off. It says the coma surrounding the nucleus, and sometimes the tail of gas and dust gas blown out from radiation. There's that radiation again, and the outstreaming solar wind. So see, winds can also be causing this tail as well. This also said plasma acting upon the nucleus of the comet. The comet nuclei range from a few hundred meters, to 10 kilometers across, and are composed of loose collections of ice and small rocky particles.
The coma of a comet is a large dusty atmosphere surrounding the nucleus, made up of sublimated gas mixed with dust.
Okay,
So that's the coma.
I want you to look this up too, because I got an alias that I'm gonna be using later on in the future, bruh. But it's funny that this popped up. Oh yeah, I call myself the Kuiper Sniper, but that's because of the Kuiper Belt. So look up what the Kuiper Belt is and read to me what it says. But it says comets, short period comets originate in the Kuiper Belt. You see, the Kuiper Belt is also linked to Planet X. That's another reason why I like that alias.
The Kuiper Belt is a donut-shaped region of icy bodies extending far beyond the orbit of Neptune. It is home to Pluto and Arrokoth. Arrokoth. That's what it says. Arrokoth.
Okay. All right. That's interesting, right? Now,
belt. So it's a belt. It's a belt. Actually, like you would call the Milky Way.
It's like a belt of metal particles, a belt of ice, all this other stuff. It's almost what they call like a wasteland in the outer edges. Yep.
Yeah,
but
edge
beyond
of
that, they say it's Planet X,
Okay.
where they're supposed to be quote unquote where the Anunnaki and all them.
It says that containing a vast ring of millions of ice bodies. So
cold as ice.
Flying through that, that's gonna be something.
Might not make it through that. You never know.
You won't make it through that. That's too bad.
So, you asked a question about that upside down rainbow that we were talking about, right? And I have another one, but it's called a circumhorizontal arc, but the degrees are bigger.
Okay.
So it's funny because you said, do they get bigger?
Right.
So I guess it's getting bigger, but it's called something different.
Okay.
That's all. It's called a circumhorizontal arc, and that's still the same thing. It's an optical phenomenon that belongs to the family of the ice halos. Still the refraction of the sunlight, moonlight, plate-shaped ice crystals suspended in the atmosphere.
Right.
It's around the cirrostratus clouds, but it's just a little bit bigger. It's considered to be the fire rainbow because it's like 46 degrees plate arc. And wow, and I will show it. It's a little bit bigger. It's a little bit more predominant.
Okay.
And wow, so you kind of spot on when you were asking sizes because you can distinctly see the difference in that one too.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Let me see what I want to get to. Let me skip that and get to a moon dog since we've been talking about the sun.
Encyclopedia over there.
Oh yeah. I mean,
you got the glossy pages.
Exactly. So we're gonna get to a moon dog. Never heard of that, but it's also called or a mock moon. In meteorology, it's an atmospheric optical phenomenon that consists of a bright spot to one or both sides of the moon. They are exactly, what is this, analogous to the sundogs. Oh, I'm gonna get to sundogs a little bit later, but so once again, so them halos got a lot of members in their family. It's caused by the refraction of moonlight by a hexagonal plate shaped and ice crystals. So it's a lot of ice and all that going on and crystals going along in the atmosphere I see. So I got a picture of this. This is what it looks like. Moon dogs. So we'll stick with rainbows, moon dogs, and sun arcs and stuff, and I got a monochrome rainbow. Never heard of that, which would just be considered a red rainbow. This shit looks kind of awesome. Looks end of dayish a little bit too, though. If you were to go outside and it look exactly like the picture, I'd be like, what the hell's going on? But it's an optical and meteorological phenomenon, rare variation. This one is more commonly seen multicolored rainbows. So this ain't that. Okay, it's identical to that of a normal rainbow, except the differences being that the monochrome rainbow requires the sun to be close to the horizon, near the sunrise or sunset. The low angle of the sun results in a longer distance for its light to travel through the atmosphere, causing shorter wavelengths of light, such as a blue, green, or yellow, to be scattered, leaving it primarily red. In lower light environments where the phenomenon is most often formed, a monochrome rainbow can leave a highly dramatic effect.
Isn't it funny how many rainbow-like phenomenons that the Earth has going on? Like,
yeah, it is.
Right.
It is. I mean, like I said, we've actually seen some of them. Some of them, now that I'm talking about it, we could have seen it and not actually known what it was.
Not knowing what they were. Yeah, basically, I think we've seen a lot of those, especially those, the ones that the sunset and sunrises. We've seen a lot of those phenomena. We just didn't know what they were called.
So I want to get to a tourist attraction, which is a natural phenomenon, and this is called the Marietta Islands. They're a small, supposedly uninhabited island a few miles off the coast of, this is Nayarit, Mexico. Located, it says, in federal waters, approximately 7.9 kilometers southwest of the peninsula, known as Punta de Mita, in the municipality of the Bahia de Banderas. Okay. So now that we got the geography out of there, it's called the famous Love Beach. And let's see here.
What makes it so famous is the question I have.
When I show it to people, they'll actually see what makes it famous is because it looks hidden. And I would say it looks like any normal beach to me, except put a dome over top of it. and cut a hole out.
Okay.
So that's exactly what I'm getting ready to turn the picture to show you guys. This shit is totally awesome. I wish they had something like this over here. But look at that circle. That's saying that's water. Once again, there's a circle. I mean, so basically it looks like it's land over top of a beach.
Okay.
Like you cut a hole out and you have to go down to get to it. Not something you see every day.
So do you have to, rope down to it, or it's probably ways down to it?
So I'll just say tourism. I'm just going to read that and see if it says anything about it. But protected by the government has created an environment conducive to the development of the marine ecosystem and is popular location for snorkeling and scuba diving. Not even during whale watching tours, people often report seeing sea turtles, manta rays, octopus, wild dolphins, humpback whales, and thousands of species of tropical fish around the islands. The islands are also home to a few thousand birds with species such as the blue-footed booby. A booby!
I've never heard of that one.
I ain't never heard of no booby. Hey, man, a blue-footed booby. Look that one up. Currently, the Mexican government allows only a few companies to go to the islands and allows the landing, so you got to fly to it, obviously, of passengers onto one secluded beach with a necessary permit.
It's just a bird.
Okay.
It looks just like a seagull.
Okay.
Yeah, it ain't nothing spectacular about it. It's just a name.
Okay, so it says, we'll say this. From Punta de Mita, small boats do tour through the islands to see the wildlife of this region from December to March.
Okay.
Says about 625 visitors a day.
That's not bad.
250 boats landed on the island per day, carrying as many as 400 tourists.
That's not bad.
Okay.
Think about if he was charging, that's still a decent little amount of change.
Okay. So, I want to get to something that occurs in nature, but it can occur in humans as well.
Okay.
I do have a picture of it in nature, so you would definitely, and I can give you a description of what it would be like if it happened to humans. But I think it's called chimerism, and this is pretty much it's a single organism composed of cells with more than one distinct genotype.
Okay.
So basically it means that an individual derived from two or more zygotes, which can include possessing blood cells of different blood types and suitable variations in form. Okay, and so to give you an idea of what it would look like in a human, you see humans have, like, you got let's say a black brown eye and then a blue eye. That's what that is.
Okay.
They actually had an apple that was half green, half red.
Really?
But this one I can show of a rose that's half red, half white.
Okay.
So if the apple was the same, you would just see a half.
Right.
And
half green, half red.
I think that's kind of awesome.
Right.
How
nature.
nature.
You have a lot of people, like, one have one green eye, one black eye. Maybe have one hazel green eye and one hazel brown eye. Yeah.
And so that's what you can see. Genetics affects nature as well, so it affects humans too. I mean, we're nature too.
I mean, you think about those famous little twins who used to be on Insta. I don't know if they still on Instagram, but they was pretty famous on social media. One of them had a blue eye and a black eye, and the other one just had green eyes or something like that. But yeah.
All right, so I'd like to get to a lava dome because I've never seen a volcano in real life. You know what I'm saying? Like right in front of my eyes.
Would you want to?
Probably not.
Right.
I mean, well, if it ain't active, then but
those are some things that you never know.
Yeah, exactly. But okay, so basically, a lava dome, and wow, they actually have volcanology. So I guess that's the study and science of volcanoes.
Right.
Is a circular mound-shaped protrusion resulting from the slow extrusion of viscous. There we go with viscous again. Lava from a volcano. Dome-building eruptions are common, particularly in a convergent plate or boundary settings. Now, this is what I did want to say, though, because when I show you this dome, what if it got so big it popped? That's lava.
That's lava. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
So, oh man, you know. But I'm saying, but that's for a city or a town, how big it is.
okay.
All right.
Have they? Well, I guess you wouldn't know. I would say, have they ever popped? We would know that.
This one I'ma show, it looked like it could, but see, it can also go down. You know, it says the high viscosity can be obtained in two ways: by high levels of silica in the magma, or the degassing of fluid magma. Since viscous, I say basaltic and andesitic domes weather fast and easily break apart by further input of fluid, the lava, most of the preserved domes of high silica content consist of, so they'll break apart, I guess, before they'll kind of explode.
Okay.
It's a lot of things going on. So you know how like water may boil in a boiling pot and it don't necessarily explode or bubble up because
Right. Well, when yeah, I get what you're saying. You put a top over it though, it will boil over.
we can't put a top over this one.
I know. I get what
So
you're saying.
that's what this looks like.
Can you imagine being around that? Just living around something like that? I wouldn't want. I had to go. As soon as it bubbled up, I'm out.
I won't exactly. But I really wouldn't want to live around a volcano anyway.
Right.
I've seen stories about people that actually their last pictures was around a volcano. And it erupted obviously.
Right.
In some kind of way now. Isn't that interesting? You ain't gonna survive, but your camera and your film
Your
did.
camera and your film, dude.
I'm like, man, that's some interesting shit there. All right, so what do we have here? Oh, okay. We'll go to Lake Natron. Lake Natron is a salt or alkaline lake located in, I would have to say this. Well, I'm just going to say Tanzania
Okay.
because it's the Ngorongoro district.
Okay.
Okay, I got it out. In Kenya.
You got it out.
Okay, look at me, shit. Oh man, I'll be able to get a passport for that one.
You throwing these pronunciations out there.
You know, hey, for pronunciations, you know what I'm saying? Watch me
Right.
mess up on some American.
Right.
I got the see, I can't say it again. Yep, let me stop. See,
Right.
got it right the first time. Now I done messed up.
Right.
All right, so okay, it says it has high levels. First of all, of evaporation left behind from sodium carbonate. This right here looks like it has, okay, so it says the lake is fed principally by the South Ewaso Ngiro River, which
Right.
rises in central Kenya, and by mineral-rich hot springs. It is quite shallow, less than 3 meters deep, varies in width depending on the water level. Okay, so this particular water can rise and fall. It's a maximum of 57 kilometers long, 22 kilometers wide. The surrounding area receives irregular seasonal rainfall, mainly between December and May, totaling to 800 millimeters. It's a lot of rain going through there. Okay, temperatures at the lake are frequently above 40 degrees Celsius. The chemical properties of the water are known to calcify in the bodies in any living thing that died in the lake,
Oh, wow.
turning them to stone before they decompose. Wow.
That's wow. So that's where you think they get those. You can turn people can turn to stone. So whatever dies in that lake calcifies into stone before everything else even happens to it. So like, I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you have to die in the lake? What if you got in the lake?
That's a good question. But I am looking at, first of all, it's red. So that's a good indication that you probably wouldn't want to get in
there,
it.
right?
It's got a lot of organisms in it, and it says this cyanobacterias in it.
Okay.
And there's a lot of microorganisms that's in there, and they make their own food within that particular ecosystem in that water. The way that it looks, I wouldn't recommend you want to take a swim in that.
Right. I get it.
You can't even fish in this.
No fish in there. It shouldn't be.
Yeah, that's what
they
I'm
all
saying.
stone. They all rocks if there is.
Okay. That's interesting. Let's see here. What do I want to do? Because I have so many different things. I'll try. This is a different type of rainbow. Never heard of it. I like it, and I chose it because it has my name in it. But Alexander's band.
Okay.
Okay. An Alexander's band, optical phenomenon associated with rainbows, which is named after Alexander, who first described the phenomenon. Oh, okay. The dark band, it's a little bit darker. It occurs due to deviations in angles of primary and secondary rainbows. Both exist due to the optical effect called an angle of the minimum deviation. It's a refractive index of water, prevents light from being deviated at smaller angles.
Okay.
This minimum deviation in angle for the primary rainbow, they have, I guess, degrees of this and angles of this because of what it looks like. It's 137.5 degrees. The light can be deviated up to 180, causing it to be reflected right back to the observer. The light, which is deviated at intermittent angles, brightens on the inside of a rainbow.
Okay.
Okay, so this right here, to me, it looks like an intense rainbow in two rainbows, and I've seen this before. You know how sometimes it looks like the rainbow mimicked itself? That's what this appears to look like.
Okay.
So it looks kind of like a duplicate rainbow beside itself, but one of them is more pronounced and looks
more HD.
Exactly.
And the other one is blurry. Like the TV is not focused.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all right, I like that Alexander band because it looks more pronounced.
Right.
Than the regular rainbow at this one. All right, so I'm gonna move along to a desert rose, which is an intricate rose-like formation of crystal clusters, or gypsum, which include abundant sand grains. The petals are crystals flattened on the C-axis, fanning open in radiating clusters.
Gypsum they use for crystals, like people who do crystals like jade and all that stuff. They actually use gypsum as something for a crystal. I'm gonna look it up because that is something that people actually use. For that spiritual. Realm, they have certain crystals that do certain things. So yeah, finish. Go ahead.
So okay, the sand roses are kind of like found in like the Sahara. It said, wow, they're actually found in large numbers in surroundings of the salt lakes, as well as neighboring regions in Algeria. But the local inhabitants extract them and sell them as souvenirs to tourists, creating a sustainable income. I mean, I could see myself having something like this if nature actually produced it. I mean, it looks pretty decent. I'll show you guys what it looks like. So, it actually does look like a rose petal that naturally formed from the desert. It's got a little sand and crystals to it. So that is kind of awesome. I mean, especially for women that might like flowers and roses. To have something like that, it actually looks like a permanent rose that will never die on you. So it is kind of dope. Imagine getting it and spray painting it.
Is it black?
They look sand colored.
Okay.
And they look calcified, and some of them go up, and some of them are flat. Wow, that was quite interesting. All right, so now I'll get to the Great Blue Hole.
I've heard that.
I haven't actually, but it's a giant marine sinkhole off the coast of Belize. It lies near the center of the Lighthouse Reef, and it's a hole that is in circular shape. Whoa, shit, 1,043 feet across. God.
And it's crystal blue.
It
looks see-through.
Exactly.
Right.
Wow. Okay. So they got a simplified layout with it, 318 meters across and 124 meters deep. 299 feet.
People dive in it.
That's deep, man. God. Do you see the surrounding of it though? Like it's reef surrounded.
Yeah, people still dive in it though. Call it the Great Blue Hole.
This is also It says it has a barrier reef reserve system. Exploration. The site was made famous by Jacques Cousteau. Oh, Cousteau.
Yeah.
Okay. Brought his ship to the Calypso. So they say to the hole to chart its depths. Wow. This is something I would say I would like to see. I ain't even gonna lie.
You like to see that great blue hole?
That great blue hole. First,
would you dive in it?
no, I would not. And I would just.
Why? You be scared? People dive in it now. I've heard.
I don't even think I'd get in the water for it. But first of all, it's in Belize, so that's a plus.
Okay. Yeah.
You see, in Brazil, you know, you get to see the women too. But yeah, this looked like an eighth wonder damn near, but it ain't. So I'll show everyone the great blue hole, guys.
Yep.
Like I said, this is picture pages today, guys. So you know, we're getting to see a lot of stuff. Let me see. Oh wow. Okay, I'm gonna get to this because you gotta be crazy if you see this, crazy if you stand on it, and I got somebody standing on it, y'all.
Right.
I ain't even gotta describe what color or culture they are. You gonna know when I describe this. All right, so forgive me, y'all, but the best way I can describe it is, well, it's K. I gotta spell it and then I'm gonna try to say it. It's KGERABOLTEN. So we'll say like a Kajbolton or something like that.
What? No,
Kurdrag Bolton.
We're not doing that on
Jarag Bolton is what it say.
Spell it for me.
I said K. Like the K got to be silent then.
Okay, spell it for me.
So KJERAGBOLTEN. KG.
KG or KJ?
KJ, my bad. KJERAG. So I'm just gonna say Jarek Bolden. Exactly. Thank you. Yeah.
Pronounce that thing.
However, okay, but
Here
now
we go.
you already see what it is, don't you?
We finna pronounce it. Here you go.
Get Siri to pronounce it and see what she say.
We finna get, what's the name to pronounce it?
Sarah Bolton.
Sarah Bolton. See?
They said Sarah Bolton with a K?
Yes.
Okay, Sarah Bolton, all right, is a boulder on the mountain of Sarag in Sandes.
Sarah Bolton. So, yeah.
It's in Norway. Okay, the rock itself is 5 cubic meters. It's a glacial deposit wedged in a large crevice in the mountain. So it is a popular tourist destination and is accessible without any climbing equipment. Accessible without climbing equipment.
Right.
However, it's suspended 984 meters, which is 3,228 feet deep abyss, and it is also a popular site for base jumping. The boulder is just southwest of the village of
Sarah Bolton.
No, this is different. Man. I done set myself up, y'all. Okay. We're not even going to try to pronounce this, man.
Okay, don't worry.
We're just going to say Sarah Bolton again.
What city is, what country is it in?
Norway.
Well, that's all you need to know.
All right. So, a guy went viral on a video, and I'm going to show y'all what he's doing. Look at this man standing on this boulder, folks.
Right. Okay, I see
3,000 something feet up in the air.
I see.
Y'all want to do that? I mean, nature. I'm going to show it to you again. Nature is awesome, but it ain't awesome enough for me to do that.
I mean, it's
the boulder
high
look
enough
awesome.
Base jump, so you know it's high.
Okay, so exactly. Now, what happens, if something shifted, a little piece of that rock chipped when Buddy was on it?
No earthquake.
Pew, something,
Right.
something just to teach that man a lesson of you should not be on here. You know what I'm saying? Why would you do that?
Right. But that people base jumping it, so it's one of those things, right?
Yeah, one of them things I wouldn't do. I don't base jump, folks.
Right.
I don't bungee jump. I don't even want to be jumped. All right. So we're going to lighten the mood, literally, with volcanic lightning.
Okay. Now,
Okay.
I've heard of volcanic
Me
lightning.
too. Basically, and it's electrical discharge caused by volcanic eruption rather than from an ordinary thunderstorm, folks. That's simplistic. I ain't even got to go too much deep into that.
That's in the pyro cloud, right? Within the when it erupts, the lightning is inside of the cloud.
Wow. Well, I know they did. They call it a dirty thunderstorm.
Right.
This is what it looks like.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So with that being said, then I'm gonna have to scroll. I'm gonna look, see if I can find my blue lava for y'all. But in the meantime, I'm gonna get to the pink lake because I promised Lab I show him a pink lake.
Right.
Okay. Because we used to see in blue.
Right.
Baby blue, pretty pink, but now we got pretty pink, baby blue, I guess. All right, so a pink lake is a lake that has, a red or pink color to it. This is often caused by the presence of salt-tolerant algae that produces, what is this, carotenoids, such as Dunalilia salina.
Okay. That's close enough.
Usually in conjunction with specific bacteria and archaea, which may vary from lake to lake. Okay.
Is it dangerous or is it deadly in any way?
I mean, I'm going to show it to you. I think somebody's in it. I really wouldn't want to be in it. It says pink lakes arise from a combination of factors, which include climate and hydrology and the continent. What is this says? The continent beneath them? In particular, the level of salinity. The orange and pink color of Salt Lake across the world has often been attributed to the green algae. So I guess if green algae ain't bad for you, but other work has shown bacteria.
I think people eat green algae.
Look up the word Salina.
What is it? Salina. Salina.
So, yep, and see, as far as bacteria is concerned, is that harmful? Because that seems to be it. And see, another thing that you have to understand, like, you don't necessarily want to jump in a lake that got a lot of carbon monoxide or dioxide in it, things like that. It could be gaseous that you don't know of. It could have some of the same properties as, we will say, liquid nitrogen or something.
And you said saline, Salina, right?
And
it's an algae, or is it a bacteria?
it's this right here says an alga, ALGA, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
Single cell green alga plays a key role in primary production of hypersaline, which is salt. So actually, this lake could damn near possibly have some medicinal purposes. It's got a whole shitload of saline in it, or it definitely has saline for sure, because it has NaCl. And I'm looking at that, like, and it has a percentage that says 35% of NaCl, which would be considered like the normal salines that we have. We have 9%. So 35%, that's a lot. That's strong as shit.
It says
salty as hell.
Salina is a type of halophile uncellular green algae, especially found in hypersaline environments such as salt lakes and salt evaporation ponds. So there you go.
Okay. Well, now I'm going to get to something that occurs in nature that produces something that looks like this says opalescent glass, but it's called the Tyndall effect. The Tyndall effect is light scattering by particles in the colloid, such as a very fine suspension, and it is inversely proportional to the fourth power, what does this have, of the wavelength. So blue light is scattered much more strongly than the red light. An example in everyday life of this blue color, sometimes seen in the smoke emitted by motorcycles, in a particular two-stroke machines. Okay, so basically it has this. Looks like a little glass marble.
It transfers a needle of spontaneously emitted luminescence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, we have, we'll say, a methane chimney. Methane chimneys it actually kind of looks like what I just showed, but these would be like frozen bubbles in water.
Okay.
And so, like the methane, they call it a
know,
methane
I-
chimney because the methane will cause the gas bubbles.
Mhm.
But this will be occurring in such cold conditions that it freezes.
Okay.
And it looks like this.
Mhm. They showed
So
that.
frozen bubbles beneath water. It's kind of dope. Let's see if I can find some. I'm gonna scroll through some things, look through some things that catch my eye.
They shown pictures of. So while you doing that,
Uh-huh.
they showed pictures of Uranus on the NASA network with methane bubbles on certain surfaces, methane gas and stuff like that.
Mhm.
They have that explorer that's been out there for a while that's been taking pictures of the solar system, and it when you go on YouTube, you can see the pictures of some of that stuff. But
Oh wow.
yeah.
Okay, so I have two things. This involves two things in nature. One will say that it's a particular type of prickly tree. It's a prickly and thorny tree that grows a brown bean-like fruit. And this particular tree is called a argana tree, and it's in Morocco. So obviously, fruit growing on trees is naturally occurring. We ain't got nothing to do with that. But something else that's a phenomena about this tree is it attracts the goats in Morocco.
Oh wow.
And Moroccos like to eat these particular beans. And guess what they do to get them? They climb in the trees. So I've seen goats climb mountains, like you were saying. I've actually seen a goat climb a house because it's gone viral. Some dude got a goat and a chicken, and the goat be doing a lot of other stuff. I forgot what the goat's name is, but I found this quite interesting because I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 goats in one tree to get this fruit. So I'm gonna show it to my folks that's looking. Show it one more time. Goats in a tree. So, first of all, I think that's awesome. It shows a level of intelligence. It shows strategy as well. And it shows an innate ability to survive. One, it distinctively said that the tree was thorny and prickly, so it also said that a lot of other critters wouldn't want to climb it, so they wouldn't eat it.
Right.
Two, the goats adapted. They have hooves, but they literally can adapt to climb this tree, and they had enough sense to know that there's fruit in it.
It's like
And
those
they
goats
can
that climb
survive.
the side. What we talked about is climb the side of the mountains. Mountain goats that hold on to the side of the mountains. I was trying to look up steel trees, but there's a thing in China where the trees look like steel pipes, but
Oh shit!
but it's a natural phenomenon. I forget what it's called.
Uh-huh.
I was trying to look that up, but yeah, they look like steel pipes. Like,
I had something similar to that. They were called knives. It's still in here somewhere, but right now I'm actually trying to get to another natural occurring phenomenon that we all know about or we've heard of, and that's like northern lights. And I ain't talking about a strand of weed.
everybody should know what the northern lights are.
Exactly, which is aurora. So I'm not gonna get that deep into it. I just think that it's quite awesome. And it basically sometimes it just looks like light shooting across the sky. I have images of it. I can give you a brief synopsis of what it is, though. But like I say, it's a natural light display in Earth's sky, predominantly seen in high latitude regions. Auroras display dynamic patterns of brilliant light that appear as curtain rays, spirals, and dynamic flickers. Flickers covering the sky. Flickers is what makes it look like damn near firecrackers shooting off. It says auroras are the result of disturbances in the magnetosphere caused by the solar wind. Damn, so wind causes this. Major disturbances result in the enhancements, the speeds of the solar wind from the coronal holes and the coronal mass ejections. These disturbances alter the trajectories of charged particles, so you got some charged particles in there, and magnetospheric plasma. I think this is dope because what you start seeing is certain things that happen in life naturally or as far as we'll just say, we got plasma.
Mm-hmm.
This says plasma. You start seeing plants, have the same thing. It just, as I read these things, I'm like, damn, man, like some of these things that's attributed to space and lights are attributed to us too.
Mm-hmm.
But it just doesn't react in certain ways because of the chemicals that we have,
Yeah, that.
or the environment that's in.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, man, like I say, I could definitely get into the humans, what we got going on as far as the electricity that pops off in our brains and stuff, but that'll be like for another topic.
Mm-hmm.
But I would just like to say how some of these phenomena play on us because it says optical illusions.
Right.
So you can see how certain things we can't see, certain things we can see.
Right.
We can see the gas when let's just say when certain things like geysers, things like that, you can see that, but you might not necessarily see the particles that cause it to happen, which could be within us too.
Right.
We got gas, but it's called something different.
It's called
Flatulence, shit like that. You know
gas.
what I'm saying? It's called gas too. But all right. So I want to get to a light pillar. This is interesting. Light pillars or ice pillars. Once again, here we go with optical phenomena. But it's dope because if it's optical, that means we can see it.
Right.
But this right here, a vertical beam of light that appears to extend above and or below a light source. The effect is created by the reflection of light from tiny ice crystals that are suspended in the atmosphere or that comprise high altitudes and clouds. So what I'm starting to see, clouds, ice, once again we got in them gases, they can create a lot of different things. This one I've never seen before. I'm going to show it, but it looks actually like, oh wow, when you see somebody want to let you know it's a grand opening, and they shoot that light out. This is exactly what this looks like, but it's natural.
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying. Yeah, they had them lights. Yeah.
So a light pillar. Duh.
Yeah.
Interesting. So also what we're starting to see is how we can do man-made things that imitate natural things, because that light, when you put it on the ground and you shoot it upwards, it looks just like a light pillar to me.
A lot of times we get man-made things from natural things.
That's where they come from. I mean, think about some of the ideas are not just, they just spark up phenomenal. I mean, somebody probably saw those northern lights and decided, hey, I can make
I forget what kind of lights they call those, announcement lights or whatever, directional lights to show you where the party's at or where the event's
Some of them
happening.
even are like searchlights. Shit.
Right, searchlight, mainly searchlights.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with that. So yeah, they do those, and that's where they get them from. They probably got them from the northern lights. It's like, if those lights look like you can see those lights from a certain distance, I wonder how it would be on this. So yeah, we get a lot of those ideas from nature.
So right now I'm going to get to something similar to what you were talking about. You said that there were trees that look like metal pipes down there?
Yeah, metal pipes. I'm trying to still find what they're called.
Okay, so while you look for that, there's a park in Madagascar that has, we'll just say, geological formations that they're made from stones, but they look like jagged knives. It looks like if you were to fall into this, you would get stabbed from like it's like falling in a knife pit. And they're called, I'm going to spell it first, TSINGYS. And I guess I'm going to say singies. That's what it looks like.
Okay.
But they're indigenous. That's an indigenous word as far as to the Malagasy language from Madagascar. So I'm going to show what these look like. And like I said before, they don't look metal like metal trees, but they do look like, it looks like to me, this, what I've seen, slate rock kind of.
Okay.
But they're all pointy and pointed upwards.
I get
Very interesting. The way that nature just formed that. Okay, I get to something else that's interesting. They call it blue lava. Referred to as blue fire or sulfur fire. Now you know, when you get to sulfur, that kind of get a little bit biblical from time to time, or you can sulfur. Let's just say that gets, they say, left behind when you have certain spirits.
Is that right? Okay. Okay.
Okay, but all right. So the blue lava is a phenomenon that occurs when sulfur burns. It is an electric blue flame that has the illusory appearance of lava. Wow. Despite the name, the phenomenon is actually sulfuric fire that resembles the appearance of lava rather than actual lava from a volcano eruption. This is dope. So basically, if you burn sulfur, you will get this. I wouldn't necessarily try it though, but
You wouldn't experiment with it.
I mean, to be honest with you, oh man, those that know me know I've had a history of fire. I used to play with fire a little bit. I wasn't no pyromaniac,
Yourself.
but I will burn things from time to time. Not burn people, not burn shit, and blow up stuff, but just to see what the properties would do.
Oh my God.
But I do understand you can't put flame towards everything, man.
Right.
Shit, you blow some shit up in this bitch. I've been doing, but I would like to make my own blue.
But
Wait, man, hold up. It took me this long to realize this shit right here. I'm finna drive past the blue flame on the way home, and there's some strippers in that one. Now that's a blue flame I'd like to mess with. That's a blue flame I'd like to see, y'all. I'll make that blue flame instead of some real blue flame. I ain't gonna be burning no sulfur.
Right. But regular fire turns blue at its hottest point. You know that, right?
Of course.
When it's blue.
I done burned enough things to see that. Burned enough, we'll say, blunts to see that. Shit, I got a lighter on me now. Y'all want me to see? Y'all want me to show you some blue flame? No.
Nah, that's okay.
All right, so I'm gonna do 2 more, cause I have so many on. We can't go through all of them
That's
today.
right.
But let's do what they call Cano Cristales, which is pretty much like a rainbow lake. It looks red to me, but it has multiple colors to it. It was found, let's say, by a group of cattle farmers. The river is commonly called the River of Colors or Liquid Rainbow, and is noted for its striking colors. The bed of the river from the end of July through November is variously colored yellow, green, blue, black, and black, and especially red. It's the last caused by, this says, colossus. Colossus. Okay. Basically plants on the riverbed.
Okay.
And it produces quartzite type rocks. So I'll show everybody what it looks like. It's kind of awesome how they got that picture of that plant right there, so you can see kind of like
The difference. The line. I get it.
All right, and I'll do 2 more. I got a little bit of time. We say sailing stones. All right, sailing stones. Wow. Sliding rocks, walking rocks. All right, the phenomenon which rocks move and inscribe long tracks along smooth valley floors without animal intervention. The movement of the rocks occurs when large thin sheets of ice floating on a ephemeral winter pond break up in the sun. Let's see. Trails of sliding rocks have been observed and studied in various locations, including Little Bonnie Claire Playa in Nevada, and also Nevada. Okay. And most famously at Racetrack Playa Death Valley National Park in California. Okay, so it gives a description. The racetrack stones speckle the playa floor predominantly in the southern portion. Historical accounts identify some stones around 100 to 330 feet. And I'm going to give you an idea what it looks like. First of all, in order for it to do this, it looks like it's a dried area. It looks like small little, how can I say, communion cracker wafers all across the plains, and then you see a rock on top of it, and the rock looks like it was a snake damn near because it left the trail. So this is what we see.
Okay. Okay.
Very interesting. All right, so like I said, at the beginning of the show, that some parts of phenomenal and natural phenomenon, which would be biological, would be death. So I didn't really want to start the show off. I wanted to show some anomalies and some things that were kind of interesting in nature. But I do want to take the last part of this to give a tribute, like I said, to Rico Wade, who passed over the weekend. It kind of lit up my timeline because a lot of people from the A actually, had the pleasure of being around this man's energy personally. So, I'm the type of person that I like to find a lot of aspects that people leave behind to kind of like show their almost like immortality, or show that the imprint that they left behind. Like I was saying, without Rico, it wouldn't be a Outkast. Rico wouldn't be a Dungeon Family. It wouldn't be a TLC. You even got Second Generation, which Future's coming out of that. So to give you an idea of how far back it spans, the credits go back to 1995 with Soul Food and Goody Mob. Then in 1996 he was credited with work on the Society of Soul Brainchild album. We got Cool Breeze with the East Point's Greatest Hits is some of his work. The World Party, that album that Goody Mob did. Then we have My Life, Your Entertainment with Parental Advisory, PA. Wouldn't be no PA, you know what I'm saying, without that, by the way. Obviously, we got Stankonia. We got Even in Darkness with the Dungeon Family. We got 3D with TLC. Now, this is something I didn't know, but Thug World Order, Bone Thugs and Harmony, that man, talent reached out to that. I didn't either. Obviously, the Second Generation, which is this actually has Rico Wade presents the Connect. Deliverance with Bubba Sparks. Oh, I didn't know this.
Did you know that Connect was actually a CD that was released, I believe, with Wendy's or Burger King? Because I remember getting it.
No, I didn't. That's kind of dope.
Getting that.
Oh, wow.
And I remember getting it from one of them restaurants because it had like Joy on it, a couple other people.
Yeah, see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I didn't know this. Big money heavyweights, big timers. So, all right. Wow. Now, this is one of my favorite albums, which would be a CeeLo Cream's The Soul Machine. So he had something to do with that. Oh, wow. Aphrodisiac with Brandy.
Okay.
Suit, Nelly. I Gotta Make It, Trey Songz. So, okay, we got the Mighty O, Outkast.
Okay.
Idlewild with Outkast.
Okay.
UGK for life, UGK. Everybody know about them Underground Kings now. Vicious Lies and Dangerous Rumors. That's a Big Boy solo album. We got Honest, Future. Future. You know what I'm saying? All right, we got Layla's Wisdom, which is Rhapsody. Dirty Computer, Janelle Monáe.
Okay.
Wow, I did not know this. My man Rico was with Astro World, Travis Scott.
I didn't know that either.
Oh shit. Here we go. Okay, remember the name. Ed Sheeran. Number 6 collaboration project. Ed Sheeran. The House is Burning. Isaiah Rashad. Whoa, I didn't know this one. only built for infinity links. Quavo and Takeoff.
Okay.
Now, oh man, rest in peace. Take, by the way. Okay, now this hit home. Gotta throw this out. Grind Time Official. Alright. He had something to do with Michael. Killer Mike.
Okay.
The Michael album. That's recent. That's Grammy shit.
Right.
Okay. Alright. I didn't know this. I'm gonna go listen to this. Fashion Week by Peasy and Moneyman and Larry and June. They say. Oh, okay. And Down by Law, Killer Mike. That's obviously on the Michael project as well. And then a tribute to Outkast. So, I know what I'm gonna do when I go home. I'm gonna listen to a little bit of music that's Rico Wade influence.
Right.
Keep that spirit going, y'all. You know, like I say, we lost a legend, but he still left behind a lot. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing. I want to leave behind a legacy as well. So, you know, we're gonna celebrate a little bit with this. You know, we don't really want to just be mourning and sad. We're gonna celebrate this life right here. I know Rico would pretty much want us to listen to his music and carry on how we're carrying on. So, you know, I probably end up doing a song a little bit later on, man, and throwing some shout outs in at you guys. So on that note, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. We'll be back next week for something.